Gemma, if you are watching this, if you cannot handle constructive criticism as a brand owner, you should not have a brand or a business. You did something completely incorrect and wrong. Take the feedback. Well, I hope you're ready to be thoroughly annoyed, angry, because this month just seems to be the month of brands doing really stupid things. Honestly, I'm actually kind of speechless at how the beauty world has been over the past few weeks. Like, I feel like I am a teacher and I have this class of students who are the brands, and I'm like, what's gotten into you? I'm so disappointed in every single one of you. So I want to start off this video by introducing you to Ella Kinkley, who is a very talented content creator, beauty content creator on Instagram and on YouTube. I will link all her socials down below. Now, this story comes from her. The day she posted about this, I believe it was the day off or the day after, I was in her inbox asking if I could talk about this because of how much it annoyed me. Before we get into this, I just want to preface this video by saying when brands do things like this, it really pisses me off for a few different reasons. Customer service is very important to me. I believe if you're parting with your money, you should receive a service that is respectful from people who are respectful and people who deserve your money. Secondly, as somebody who has been in the beauty industry for a very, very long time, I don't believe brands like this should be welcomed or accepted into an industry that means a lot to all kinds of people. People who look different, people who appear different in everyday lives, no matter what shape, size, skin type, skin condition, age they are. Everyone is welcome in the beauty industry. So let's get into this. We're talking today about what happened in between Ella and this brand Kaima Cosmetics. Now, so this might be new to a lot of you. So let me just show you this clip.
Let's start with a message or some sentences out of a message that I want to read to you. LMFAO, you are a nobody and look awful. It's always people that look like you. Have the best day, sort your scabby skin out, fatty, post that to all your 1,000 followers, LOL.
As I mentioned, I've been away since a load of stuff has gone on. I was on a cruise for a while. So this is why I haven't jumped on this right now. But loads of people saw this too and also messaged me about it. So some background about Kaima Cosmetics for people who don't know about the brand. And their owner, Gemma. Kaima is an indie brand and they're mainly known for their chrome eyeshadows. Now, this whole thing started when Gemma, Kaima's brand owner, posted a story on the brand's Instagram page where she was upset, she was crying over the fact that she had just found out they only had a 3.6 star rating on Trustpilot, with people complaining about slow delivery, poor customer service. I mean, we can look at some reviews. I was so excited to order the Pressed Duo Chrome Powder. When I got it, I tried using it and there was a lot of fallout. I could barely get the colour to show on my skin, and the product is not what was advertised to be. I tried emailing Kaima Cosmetics for some tips and have not received a reply. I was very disappointed as I heard a lot of good things about the brand. Bad customer service and product not protected. I received a product a week ago. It was broken. I reported it to customer service and no answer at all. I'm very disappointed. I ordered some products from Kaima on March the 12th. They were all available according to the notification. It is 1 month gone, but both my orders, one for more than €100, are still awaiting fulfillment. And I got no other messages from customer service. Very disappointed and will never order from this company again. I ordered a glitter. I did not receive a parcel even after 30 days. I have a tracking number as well. Customer care first said they can raise investigation only after 28 days, and now they say just wait for the product to arrive. I will definitely recommend to not buy any products from Kaima. So for those who don't know, Trustpilot is a kind of like this independent website, not owned by any of these brands. So you can go into Trustpilot and you can look up any brand and there will be reviews, some verified as well, because brands can go onto Trustpilot and they can verify that this is a customer. And it's honest reviews about customer service. Now, a lot of the time, you're more inclined to give bad feedback from customer service, you know what I mean? When something bad happens. On Trustpilot, you can talk to these people as the brand and say, we're so sorry, let's sort this out for you. And then kind of, you know, get some better feedback from fixing these problems. One of the reasons that Gemma couldn't access her Trustpilot page and challenge any of the reviews though is because she hasn't claimed her business page on there, which you really should be doing in the first few months of having a business, like not years, right? So as a brand, you can go and claim your business and have access to like your account and respond to these reviews. So what did Gemma do? Does she go onto Trustpilot, claim her business, claim her brand, and respond to these messages to kind of fix any mistakes that might have been made, you know, as you would? My company is receiving bad reviews on Trustpilot. It's about time I claimed my brand on there and fixed some of these issues and responded to some of these mistakes. Absolutely not. She did not do that. She thought it would be a way better idea to go to her 800,000 followers on Instagram crying about reviews, saying they have a bad review, all this kind of stuff. This is very shady because not every single 800,000 follower, if they are real followers, on that account have purchased from her. So what might happen is you have people going over to leave reviews that aren't verified, who haven't purchased from her, who just support her as a brand, and maybe haven't purchased from her. That happens. A lot of people go over there, Gemma's a lovely person, 5 stars. Have you tried the products? Because this is a review about the brand, not the brand owner. That will come later. So now you have floods of people heading over to Trustpilot to give this company positive reviews that have not purchased from this company. That's a bad thing. I would not want that as a brand. I would not want fake reviews as a brand. I would want genuine reviews. Wouldn't you? Is that not what you would want? And just something I want to mention here as well, because I didn't mention it before I started making my point, is that, listen, as somebody with a following, and this Gemma does have a following, she's quite present on her Instagram, it seems, and, you know, people are like, Gemma would never do this. People who don't know her, right? People who do not know Gemma personally are making comments, and I've had messages about how Gemma is as a person. These are people that maybe have had a few messages with her, maybe, you know, are in a group chat with her, maybe they've had a response from one of their comments from her, and it's been positive, which of course it has. It's like, that's like front facing, being on social media. You know, it's gonna run around being a dick, right? But anybody who thinks they know her in that capacity senses they have a relationship with her. You can have parasocial relationships with brands. I mean, let's look at P. Louise, for example. You insult P. Louise and people go crazy. It is weird. It's weird. But I know, for example, let's use me. If I go onto my Instagram and I have people who support me, who I'm very thankful for, if I go onto Instagram right now and I put up a picture of my collection, let's say my collection I did with Blend Bunny, right? And I'm like, guys, this hasn't got enough positive reviews. Please go and do some positive reviews. People will go and do that because they support me. They don't think they're doing anything wrong, although that is a wrong thing to do for me to ask people to go and leave false reviews on a product. But they will go and do it because they support me. And everyone has that. Everyone has some kind of support base. Your families, if you ask your family to go and do it for you, they would do it for you too. So just because she isn't directly asking people to go and leave positive reviews, I know as a content creator, as somebody on social media with a following, how my followers would behave, how the people who are subscribed to me would behave, how the people who consume my content would behave, should I ask them to help me do something to further my success. Does that make sense? I'm basically saying she should know that if she put up on social media that her brand hasn't got enough positive reviews, people will go and leave them. It's a very shady practice to basically now have false reviews making your brand seem better than it is. What you should do is fix those problems as a brand owner. It is a much better look for you to respond as the brand and say, we are so sorry this happened, let me fix that for you, instead of ignoring it. And if you think that whole situation, asking people to go and leave reviews, even if they haven't purchased from your company, is dodgy, is fishy, you're not the only one.
And she basically asked to push up her reviews, which I personally think is not the right way to deal with criticism. When you get a bad review, as long as it is a valid experience, and I think That one review was something about bad customer service, so not answering the mails, and a super long shipping time and basically ghosting the customer. Something like that, don't quote me on that. And I think this is a valid criticism to make towards a brand, and that is something that when I were a brand, I would acknowledge and I would ask myself, oh my god, A, is that true? So I would contact the reviewer, which is possible. And B, I would just look into my brand processes and be like, what did go wrong? Where do we do wrong? Because it is completely normal that when you 24/7 do this with a job, that you get blind. You get blind for left and right processes. You get blind for improvements. You need the output. No, you need the input from customers in their feedback to improve. And a bad review is always chance for improvement. But a couple days later, so on August 2nd, the brand owner, Kaima Cosmetics, posted a video on their Instagram account where she was super happy that her followers pushed her Trustpilot review up to a 4.4. And let me pull out my screenshot here for you. I then commented, so basically you were begging for good reviews because someone shared their personal experience, and here's a word missing, you're not adulting enough to just accept the fact that someone just felt that way and now influenced these reviews and basically directed that in a false direction. Sorry for the bad English. Just so you feel better. Wow. Someone in the Instagram tags that I have received said that my comment was very provocative. And yes, of course. Of course it is provocative because I wanted that. I want to put my finger where it hurts. I want to criticize unethical business behavior because this is something that no trustworthy company is doing. Do you know what trustworthy companies are doing? They are bombarding you with emails after your purchase to rate your freaking experience. And do you know what? That is absolutely fine, because this is how you get the reviews. You ask the person who have ordered there. And I cannot remember 100% the exact wording that was in that first video where she sent over those people to Trustpilot. It could have been the case that she said, if you have ordered from my brand, then please leave a review. But if you do not contact exactly these people and you just unload the content to apparently 840,000 people, that is at least the follower count on that Instagram account. But if that is really, the number is questionable because of her engagement rates. But that is, I don't want to go too much into engagement rates analysis. But isn't that logical that when you share this with the wide mass of people who are watching you, that not only people will review you that have ordered, everybody will do, because they, in their parasocial relationship with you, want to support you. You guilt trip them into this. And that is what I criticized.
As I mentioned, Ella is a content creator, but the main job Ella does is a quality assurance manager, meaning that her entire day job is literally her making sure that businesses are following ethical business practices and giving quality customer care. This is a very important job, right? Because it means that we can look up brands before we purchase from them and see if they are ethical brands, see if they actually have customer care, see if we're not being scammed. Now, some people have said that Ella's comment is a little bit intense, a little bit. I disagree. I completely disagree. Sorry. I know I'm a little bit more intense than a lot of people, but I don't think this is incorrect. Let's just go through this comment. This is a true and factual comment. The thing is, Ella is talking to a business here. This is a business that should be doing business practices correctly. So basically, you are begging for good reviews because somebody shared their personal experience, And you are not adult enough to just accept the fact that somebody just felt that way. And now you've influenced these reviews and basically directed that in a false direction just so you feel better. Correct. That's exactly what the brand owner did. I feel bad that my brand hasn't got good reviews because of my poor business practices. Let me cry to my audience. Not cry. Let me speak to my followers. That's literally exactly what happened. And now you feel better. Now you feel better because everyone has brought your rating back up. That is quite literally what has happened. And if this wasn't a small business, can I just say something? I'm very much up for supporting small businesses, but you should also be calling them out on their bullshit just like any other business. If they are unethical, I don't care if they're a small business. This isn't a thing of I'm a small business. Okay, just have my money. I don't care what you do. You need to call them out too. I just wanted to add that in. Ella is 100% right here. If this was any other business who'd done this, people would be outraged. You can't lessen the outrage because it is a small business. And I don't think this comment is too harsh. She is stating what happened. And again, I'm just going to say business practices, truthful business practices are really, really important to me, and you as consumers, it should be too. If this is your hard-earned cash, if you were then going to go off the reviews of this business and purchase from them without seeing all the negative reviews, that is actually a not highly rated star company, you could be losing money. And Ella brings up a good point that Gemma is relying on this parasocial aspect of her social media to have people blindly support her without even buying from the brand. This brand clearly can't handle this criticism well at all. If you are a business and you get criticism like this because of the reasons that are quite literally handed to you through websites like Trustpilot, you should then know exactly what you need to fix. You should then know exactly what it is you need to work on, who you need to apologize to, and whose problems you need to fix. Because you have their money. You have their money and they have nothing. Talk about not being able to handle criticism. Whatever you are doing, do me a favor and have a sit down and just watch what this brand decides to do next, because it is shocking. So basically, straight away, after Ella left that comment, calling them out, she gets a DM. Let's read through these messages, right? These are messages that were sent to Ella on Instagram. This is from the brand Kaima to Ella. Hello, Ella. Thank you so much for the constructive criticism. Can I please ask how I have not accepted that? Can I please ask how I've not accepted that? Assuming this is from the brand owner, right? Your comment was really mean, and I would love to understand your way of thinking, with a heart eye emoji. You can already tell this person's a little bit annoying. Ella responds, Trustpilot is for customers to express their experiences. You begging for good reviews is just not right. Especially since you basically encouraged to write a review when people didn't order. Kaima Cosmetics then responds, you are such a wonderful person. Love you, lol. And then the laughing crying emoji. If you're a business and you are using emojis to respond to people in a customer service way, cut that shit out. Cut it out. I bet your days following are going to be amazing. Think of me when everything starts to go wrong for you. And then a picture of a wizard. Ella then responds, wow, you're a brand owner, honey. This is not the Disney Channel. Then the brand owner responds, laugh my fucking ass off. You are a nobody and look awful. It's always people that look like you. Have the best day. Sort your scabby skin out, fatty. Post that to your 1,000 followers, lol. Ella responds, my followers will love this story. Thanks. Good for you, Ella, one, for your response to that whole thing. Because I would have gone in on how shit their brand looks. How it looks like it's dropship crap from AliExpress. Let me bring up these points again from this message. You are a nobody and look awful. Sort your scabby skin out. Fatty. Now, Kaima Cosmetics is an English brand. Scabby, when we say something is scabby in England, it doesn't necessarily mean actual scabs. Scabby can mean that's disgusting, that's gross, you look scabby. Or your clothes look scabby. It just means unkept, not very nice. And it can literally mean scabs too. Ella just blocked the brand, which again, good for you, Ella. Couldn't be me. So just going back to Gemma, the brand owner, for being someone who is apparently against bullying, as it says in this article from The Chronicle, Sunderland mum who left school with nothing launched a successful cosmetic business that becomes a viral hit. Gemma Bird is 33 from Falwell, says she was bullied throughout her school years and as a result didn't want to be there. She left school without any good grades and had little to no self-worth. So for someone who's apparently against bullying, you wouldn't think she would be straight into people's DMs calling them horrible names, let alone from her business account. I want to say something as well about these messages, the DMs. Apart from the unprofessionalism of sending emojis and the same thing is like, I love you, these messages were clearly sent in a rage, an anger rage, because if you had 24 hours to think about your response, it would not be this. No normal person, brand owner or not, well, one, puts together terrible sentences like, you're such a wonderful person, love you, as a response to constructive criticism, but says stuff like, think of me when everything starts going wrong for you, and then does an emoji of a wizard. If you cannot, Gemma, if you are watching this, if you cannot handle constructive criticism as a brand owner, constructive criticism means you are able to fix this. You should not have a brand or a business. You do not have the mental capacity to own a business. Not everyone is going to like everything you do. But in this sense, you did something completely incorrect and wrong. Take the feedback. What do you mean? Still talking to you. I bet your days following are going to be amazing. Think of me when everything starts to go wrong for you, wizard emoji. I bet you did not think everything was going to go wrong for you. And listen, one thing about being in the beauty industry for a really long time, I do not like it when people attack people's looks. I talk about people's makeup because it can be taken off. It's not someone's looks. I have never, apart from this one guy in my reaction video who is a narcissistic, misogynist prick, attacked someone's looks. The whole time I have worked in the beauty industry, I became a makeup artist because the artistry of makeup. Someone like you, who is a beauty brand owner, calling someone fat, saying they look awful and that they are a nobody is disgusting. And that's not how people should behave in the beauty industry. Because at the end of the day, who are you? Okay, you have a business. Okay, so what? And what else? Who are you? Who says you don't look awful? You know what I mean? Like, why have you come across in these messages like you think you're better than anyone? This is annoying and irritating, and you are not the person to be saying things like this to people. Know your place as a human being. You have no reason to be this arrogant. Just editing this, I just wanted to say, after watching that back, this isn't me attacking Gemma at all. I'm talking to humans in general. I'm not saying you by yourself. Nobody has any reason to be that rude or to be that arrogant because nobody is special enough to insult people like this. This was my point there. I know I said earlier on I was talking directly to Gemma, but that was about her business, not about the way she looks.
I went through physical bullying, psychological bullying, my self-esteem did not exist. For the biggest part of my life, felt like the ugliest shit brick on earth. I am now 34. I know now that these people who did that back then, they didn't hate me. They hated themselves. Because this is what bullies do. They basically take all their self-hate, everything that they are unconfident about, everything that they are with so much negative energy hating about themselves, put that towards the other person, and then they do everything so that person is lower than themselves. They want to feel better than these people. These people who bully others, they are broken inside. There is something that needs to be healed. And why am I telling you this? Because the story has a big twist here. I didn't understand why somebody who is stating in a public interview from 2022 is writing something like that. And I just want to say, so there is an apology that came. Screenshots coming in a second. I don't know how I feel about this, but let's just talk about something else first, because what has happened now is that people started to share the posts, people started to share it in their Instagram story, and the shit went viral. It went so viral. I never ever would have thought that this is the outcome of my, quote, 1,000 followers. So many people shared this story to their audience, who then shared it to their audience, who then, you know how it works, the butterfly effect. And at a certain point, it stopped being about the brand Kaima Cosmetics. It started to be an army, a wall, a unbreakable bond of people all around the world stating something against bullying.
Exactly what she said. Ella is so mature. Honestly, the way she deals with this is incredible. Unlike Gemma, brands keep making this mistake. Companies keep making this mistake. And we've seen this happen recently with a situation where an influencer with a small following went to a restaurant to do a review, and the chef basically kicked her out because she didn't have enough followers, right? That video then went viral off a situation, and the restaurant found out about it and had to apologize. You don't live in this world, and again, as a business, you should know this. You should know the current situation of influencer marketing as a brand, even if you're not part of it, even if you don't take part in it. Videos can go viral if you have 1 follower, 100, 1,000, 100,000, 1 million. It does not matter the size of your following anymore for a video to make impact, right? Actually, a lot of makeup brands prefer to work with smaller content creators because a majority of their viewers, their followers, actually watch their content. It isn't about the following, it's the percentage of people that watch the content. As we see with Ella here, she may have had just 1,000 followers, as Gemma liked to say. More than 1,000 people have seen it. And that knock-on effect, more than 1,000 people are going to see this. Stop making that mistake as a brand that content creators with a small following don't have any power, because they do. They really do. It doesn't mean you can treat them like shit. If we've learned anything from my reaction channel, the fastest way people can get followers and explode is by being victim to people and brands like this. Apologies. Apologies from brands. What I would expect as an apology to this from the brand is, what I would actually expect is the blame game. We had an intern and the intern did it and now she's fired. We know that's not the case. What I would expect is an apology to Ella, taking back the situations, talking on how bullying isn't okay, maybe asking people to take back their false reviews that they gave, something like this, apologizing to Ella. That's what somebody who has a good business mind would do. That's what an adult would do. That's what someone who can take constructive criticism and rationalize situations like this correctly would do. Obviously, Ella mentioned an apology in that video. So let's have a look at the apology. And I'll also play the video that went along with this apology. This is from Kaima Cosmetics. Kaima Cosmetics would like to wholeheartedly apologize for any offense caused by a post made by a staff member who was posting on behalf of a brand owner, Gemma. This staff member has now been dismissed from the company. This has truly spoiled Gemma's family holiday. Oh no. And as a result, she will be suspending social media content until we can recruit a reliable staff member to take over. Gemma has received vile comments and criticism for a post she was totally unaware of until late yesterday. As for the picture, the one attached, the one that is this apology is under, which, this is so ridiculous. This has caused fireworks within the company and has damaged our brand, which we have worked tirelessly to build over the last few years. We have prided ourselves on our customer service, and it is entirely unacceptable for Gemma to receive vile posts and death threats caused by someone who is now no longer with the company. We do not and have not ever encouraged false Trustpilot reviews and would never condone false reviews. As a small independent company, we have always strived for good customer service, and it is with a heavy heart we are ashamed that a supposedly trusted employee would abuse the trust we place in them to act on Gemma's behalf. Gemma's totally upset and distraught over this. We totally apologize to Ella on behalf of the company and can totally reassure our customers that this behavior will not be tolerated by our brand. Once again, apologies for any offense this has caused. Going forward, we will strive once more for outstanding customer service. I just want you also all to know that when I'm filming this anyway, Ella was blocked by this brand and is still blocked by the brand, so actually does not have access to this apology. So she couldn't see it. And actually, if you read it again, they don't really acknowledge her once until right at the end here. We totally apologize to Ella. We totally apologize. It's all about how hard it's been for Gemma. It's ruined my holiday. It's ruined my holiday. The picture attached is fireworks at Magic Kingdom in Disney World in Florida. Let's talk about this mysterious employee situation, right? As of November 2024, she had 4 employees. She talks in the post announcing that said person would be helping her out with a few different jobs, clearly meaning that she hasn't put out job applications, right? We researched this and we tried to find like a we're hiring post on social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, or even Indeed. We couldn't find one. Because there isn't one professional she could have hired for both manual labor and content management, right? It is blatantly obvious that the 4th member of staff is a friend or family member. Because it's obviously someone she was close with, there is no way that she'll be firing them. Absolutely not. She is counting on the fact that because she has a micro entity and you can't see specific information about employees on her company's house, that no one will find out. If you are a micro entity, it basically means you have under 10 members of staff and you earn under $500,000, just a smaller business. And that is if you even believe that it was a member of staff that did this. After all, she had time to post a story asking for people to go out and leave these reviews at the same time the messages to Ella were sent. We saw in the messages to Ella as well that she was saying, can you explain how I have not? It was the brand owner talking to her, 100%. I also want to add in here, it is totally possible that more than one person has access to a social media account, especially Instagram. For example, me and my twin brother, we have our joint account. 3 people have access to that account and can access it at any time from anywhere in the world. However, the energy of the first messages, the emojis after certain sentences, is carried on through, and the weird use of an emoji that is opposite to what's going on in the message, you know, like a positive emoji with a negative message. That energy is carried through and that style is carried through the messages throughout this interaction. I don't know if you noticed, at the end of this apology, it says, regards, Gemma's dad. Gemma's dad has come online here to post an apology. Now, I think Gemma's around my age, strangely. I couldn't imagine this sentence coming from my dad. Gemma is totally upset and distraught over this. We totally apologize to Ella on behalf of the company, and we can totally reassure our customers that this behavior will not be tolerated by our brand. As a company owner, as an adult, as a grown-up, take a second from your Disney World holiday, your Disney family holiday, which I fucking love Disney World. I'm a Disney adult, you all know that. Take a seat. Take a seat in your hotel. Write on a notes app while you're traveling from park to park on those buses. In an Uber. Write out an apology from a brand owner, a responsible brand owner. Getting your dad. Imagine if I did something controversial and awful, and then my mum comes on and apologizes for me. I'm sorry, are you in school? Who thinks this is a good idea? Who thinks this is a good idea? And if your dad works for a business, you sign it, regards, Kaima Cosmetics. Because hopefully, Gemma has had something to do with this apology, right? It isn't, oh, poor me, poor Gemma, your vacation's ruined. So when I was away with my partner, right, I was explaining this whole situation. I was like, I have to talk about this when we get back. And I was updating him on everything that was happening. When we read this apology, we were laughing. It was like, we can't believe this. This has truly spoilt Gemma's family holiday. So, I'm ignoring the fact that they're blaming an employee because it was not an employee who did this. You called someone fat and scabby. And then to have pictures of fireworks, to have a video of fireworks, to be like, as for a picture, this is called fireworks. You post a blank picture, apology. Or you write it out and scroll through. Or you write the apology as a post. This is weird. This is a weird apology. It's not an apology. It's a poor me, I'm a victim. And I just have to say something. I very much believe that there are people online that give out death threats all the time. I receive death threats. They're fine. But there's a lot of times I don't believe it. And I'm not saying I don't believe them. I feel like people saying they have received death threats is often a kind of like, look how bad the situation is for us now, kind of excuse. And I'm not saying that's what's happening in this situation, but as a kind of like a lessen the blow on us. We're receiving death threats. And I also have to add here, like I said, I receive death threats all the time, but it's, you know, it's just some weird person at home, which doesn't lessen the blow of a death threat for anyone else. They take it very differently. They may take it differently to me. I do have to add to this, if this Gemma was receiving death threats, there must be an added layer of fear to that because she does have a family. She has a child. So I can understand why that would be scary. You know what I mean? Again, I do believe a lot of brands, a lot of whoever, a lot of companies, a lot of people do use it to soften the blow to them. Enough is enough. I'm receiving death threats now. Everyone has to stop talking about the situation. Why does your dad have access to your brand's socials unless he works for you? You know what I mean? But it's so strange.
We are allowed to make mistakes, and so is Gemma from Kaima Cosmetics. She is allowed to make mistakes, and I am the last person on earth who will deny an apology. I am the last person on earth who will not give a person who is making mistakes, that is not giving them a second chance to show growth, to show that they learn something from that situation. I truly believe in that. And I do believe that this is the only way how people can do better. Why should someone be motivated to do better if they fucked up immediately? Nobody should be put away in a dark, drawer just because they made a mistake. And to me, this is that type of mistake that needs a proper apology. Acknowledgement in a post, in a short sentence, somewhere in the middle of the post, that actually, with the picture, I saw that they apparently also have a firework picture, because the messages came in as a firework. This post is all about Kaima Cosmetics and how to kind of cover what has happened. A lot of people messaged me already. A lot of people, they told me here things. They told me their opinion. Oh boy, it's getting more and more. I have so many unread messages again. Let's end the video here on the positive note. These are some screenshots because I asked for some positive sentences from you all and from the amount of people that actually now joined this channel. I want to end this with... Let me summarize this a bit. If the thing with the death threats are true, I am very disappointed because I don't think that this is right. This is just too far. I said that a couple times. I never ever encouraged anybody to go to Trustpilot and leave 1-star reviews. I think that is wrong. So please do me a favor and please delete that, because Trustpilot is for customer experiences. The whole thing that has happened here, this is something for social media. Just do me that favor, please. And I truly hope that she will grow from this. And as of today, August 4th, 5:30 p.m., I don't believe that this was a staff member, because the timelines, everything it does not add up. The whole explanation of that staff member that posted that recorded video from her on behalf of her. When you, as a business profile, by the way, you can schedule posts. That is the second thing. Oh, I totally forgot to mention this. I do this all the time. What do you think? How do I manage to post, I don't know, 5 reels a day? I upload them and I plan them. So it does not add up for me. If the brand truly wants to apologize, as said, I unblock them. But I much rather would have them contact me via mail, because I don't want to have this on Instagram where you can delete the message that you send. My email is in the info box down below. It's ellakinkley@outlook.com. You are very, very welcome to contact me and let's sort things out. Again, I'm the last person who is not believing in second chances.
Now, I would not call what Gemma did, allegedly did, or said in those messages a mistake. To be even comfortable saying that, you have to have a certain mentality, right? And that mentality is something that happens through years of ignorance. Think about this. When you write a message, you have to physically type it out. Your brain decides what you are going to write before, and then you have to click send. You also have to search for the emoji you're going to send. You can also delete messages on Instagram. If you sent it and you're like, oh shit, that was a mistake, you can delete it. When you're in your 30s, right, you should know better. You should have some idea of consequences when you send messages like that. And listen, again, Ella's a much nicer person than I am. Ella's clearly a very good person. She said she can forgive mistakes, but this was a well-calculated message, a thought-out message that was then sent by an adult. This is a lesson that has been due to bite whoever said these things in the arse for a long time. And if it's not a lesson to Kaima or whoever said the messages, whoever sent the messages, then I hope it's a lesson to people watching as well. Again, Ella has been way kinder through all of this than what she needed to be, in my opinion. Something that Ella mentions as well in a video too is that she doesn't condone any nasty messages or leaving false 1-star reviews on Kaima Cosmetics Trustpilot, because that's what started this whole thing in the first place, is false reviews. And something that she doesn't mention here is that she actually was being accused of sending people to give bad reviews, which is just insane, because she wouldn't do that, because that is what she is against. That's why this whole thing started, right? I do think people make mistakes. I do think people say things and they get caught up in the moment. But I like to think of things like this, when brands do things like this, in 2 ways. The person behind the brand. This person is not a nice person. Despite what you may think, the industry I'm in, the industry I have been in, because I'm wearing makeup, I do not find it funny, and I do not find it intelligent to insult the way people look. I don't think it's funny. I have worked on clients who are in tears because they suffer from acne, because they have a skin condition, because they can't bear to look in the mirror just because they don't like the way they look. It is not funny. It's not a funny experience. The only time I would ever do that is to truly hurt someone who I think deserves it. Like this guy in this video. You need to watch it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, because I know how horrible it is. If you have ever had someone say something negative about the way you look, it will stick with you forever. You will always remember it. It is not funny. It is not big. It is not clever. Sorry to sound like an adult. It is not powerful to you to insult someone because of something they cannot help. Full stop. So that shouldn't be used against anyone. To be a beauty professional and think that that is something you should comment on in a negative way shows me that you do not belong in the beauty industry, full stop. Why should you take money from people who may not look like the way you approve, yet you're taking their money for your drop-shipped terrible products, in my opinion? And then I think about it from a business point of view. I get into this mind frame of a heartless, soulless business owner who maybe doesn't care how people feel. Why would you think that these messages were a good idea? Why would you think that apology is a good idea? And this is where you've left it. The internet is forever. You will always, always have this following you, because you cannot handle, as a business, constructive criticism. You do not go into any business, any career. I do not make content thinking everyone's gonna like it, everyone's gonna like me. You should not make a product thinking everyone's going to like it. Everyone's going to love it as much as you do. They don't care how much of your heart and soul you've poured into it. That's fact and that's fine. But if you can't deal with that, 1 as an adult, 2 as a business owner, 3 as a parent, you have some serious thinking to do about how you deal with things in life. Because this is horrendous. And you know what? But for me, it's the disrespect in these DMs about things that don't matter. Numbers of followers, looks, skin that you're using. It is just very, very annoying. And also, I mean, if his dad is making this apology, how would you feel if somebody said that to your daughter? This person, the person who owns Kaima, is a parent. How would you feel if somebody messaged that to your child? Would you be like, your holiday's ruined? No, you'll be pissed off because it doesn't matter because you know the person. Very annoying. It's very frustrating. And listen, I can be very intense sometimes, and I can be very petty. And I make these videos because I feel like people who own these kind of brands, who have opinions like this, don't deserve your money. They don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your praise. They could make the best foundation in the world. They could make the best eyeshadow in the world. But they could be this nasty, horrendous person. They don't deserve your money. Listen, I'm not glad this situation happened, but I'm glad I found Ella because I've been watching her videos on YouTube. I've been watching her content, and her content is great. It's really, really nice to watch. So go and support her. Everything is linked down below in the description box. And listen, I think Kaima has had all the backlash they can for now. It ruined their family vacation. So let's just lay off it. This is here should anyone come onto YouTube and look up Kaima, and they can decide if they want to support a brand whose owner is like this. It just makes me so angry. I don't even know how to put it in words, you know what I mean? Okay. And just to finalize here, from the date of editing this video, which is the 26th of August 2025, Kaima have still blocked Ella. And let's bear in mind here as well that Ella did in fact unblock Kaima Cosmetics so she could see if there was an apology or something like that. Which means that Kaima put out an apology that Ella was unable to see because they actually blocked her after she unblocked them. They have taken the apology down and all comments on their page have been restricted, so not anybody can just comment on their pictures, and nothing else has been said to Ella from the brand, and there doesn't seem to be any more accountability on their page. For the full in-depth story, I would 100% recommend going to Ella's video. I'll link it down below along with her other socials. Go ahead and check them out because there's more details and more personal experience from Ella around this whole situation. Let me know your opinion down below in the comments. Thank you again for watching. Please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.